Okay, here we are on the air once again. I'm holding this weekly session with Group 10. I'm so sorry about the interruption. Is my internet going on and off all the time? So I'm not going to go over the introduction because we have already been through that. So you already know we're going to be working on part 3 of the IELTS. Maria. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys, and I want you to answer the initial question, and then based on that one, I will be asking you a series of follow-up questions. Okay? Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
teacher.
And what about Maria? Maria,
Hello.
can you see my screen? Yes?
Yes.
Maria, can you see my screen?
Yes, tutor.
Okay. So we're going to go with this question here. Let me show you. Uh, the one about this one, okay? Maria, describe one of your neighbors. This is where we were before the interruption, okay? I want you to focus on on any one of your neighbors. I don't want you to start like asking me questions if it is the neighbor in front of you or the one to the right, to your right, or the one to your left. No, one of your neighbors. Go ahead. Try to answer the questions in mention, like when did you become neighbors, or okay, do you often meet with this person, and state whether your neighbor is a good one or not. So go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay. Well, one of my neighbor is his name is Jorge Luis.
Uh-huh.
He is nosy neighbors
Yes. Why?
because he listen to music with a high volume. The music.
Uh-huh.
Uh, I don't visit him.
Okay, does he play his music
I
out
am.
loud?
I have been to
Maria. Brian, are you there live?
Yes.
Okay. Let me move on to you so that we can continue. Describe one of your neighbors, sir.
One of my neighbors is called Felipe.
Mm-hmm.
He is almost 23 years old, and he lives around the corner. We often meet and greet because he lives next to my house, and he is very good at making exercises.
How often do you meet him? How often do you meet him? Oh, then you are my last resort, lady. Please
okay, teacher.
describe one of your neighbors, please.
Okay, I live
Excuse me.
in a
Excuse me. Excuse me.
apartment.
There is Brian. Brian, try to
Okay,
continue, and then we will move on to
Okay. And we meet and greet every day because his house is next to my house, and he is good at making exercises. He make activities in which the people of the town make exercise.
Okay. Previously, you had told me that he lived around the corner. So does he live around the corner or next to you?
And next to you and around the corner, the same thing.
Why?
So my house is behind there, his house.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Now, uh, so when did you guys become neighbors? When?
Science. I
Signs? No. You say we became neighbors in year 2015, or we became neighbors 10 years ago. When did you guys become neighbors?
And almost 10 years ago.
Okay, thank you. Now, what is the difference between neighbors and friends?
But the neighbor isn't really a friend. Sometimes and a friend is a person with which we want to have a relationship.
Okay.
So,
okay, good. Now, why do people like to watch TV series in their houses?
because sometimes the history and the stand-up catch them, and they like to spend time watching these series because of the themes and the story.
Okay. How do you think the relationship, how do you think of relationships in cities between people?
It depends on how close the people live with each other. And for people that live close to each other, it can be a close relationship. But if the other person lives in the other part of the city, then it will be difficult to make a relationship, but it is possible.
Okay, and how do you think we can improve our relationships with our neighbors?
Making some activities, making invitations, and visiting some neighbors and things alike.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Now, lady, good afternoon.
Good
Lady,
afternoon, teacher.
how are you doing today?
I'm fine, thanks.
All right. Now, I would like to move on to the same question. Describe one.
Okay.
Describe one of your neighbors, please.
Okay, the name of my neighbor is Estela. This is a woman, and we become neighbors for 5 years ago.
Yes.
She's often always, I see, she often always because she lives in front of my apartment. I have only neighbor for floor. I live in the 3rd floor, and she is my only neighbor. She lives in
Okay.
front of my apartment, and she's a good person. She is kind, but I don't speak with them because I am very reserved. So only when I see I greet. It's only that. She likes to
Okay.
be in the balcony of the apartment and see the other neighbors.
When did you girls become neighbors? When?
When become neighbors 5 years ago.
Okay. And do you often meet?
Yes, I see often with she because she lives in front of me, and when I opened my door, I can't. Uh, I don't
Get
know
to see
what
her.
to say.
Get to meet.
Pasar enfrente de su casa.
So you will have to go by the front of her house, the front of her
Yes,
apartment.
yes,
Okay.
for step the
To take the
my
stairs?
yes.
To take the stairs down. Okay. Good. Next question. Oh, well, state whether she's a good neighbor or not.
Yes, she is a good neighbor. She is kind, and is do you have any problem? You can tell with her and entablate a conversation with
And
them.
you can start a conversation with her easily. Okay,
Okay.
good. Now, what is the difference between neighbors and friends?
The difference in between neighbors is a far people. For me, in my opinion, my friends are more closer and they can talk for everything in my life, secrets or when have a problem. But in my neighbor, it's only a person do you see frequently, but it's not a closer person.
Okay, good. Yes, with neighbors are people maybe sometimes that are kind of acquaintances because they live next to us, but we don't are like close, very close to them. There are neighbors who we are really close to, but Most of them, not really. Okay, then. Why do people like to watch TV series in their houses?
In my opinion, the people like to watch TV series in the house because it's comfortable. Do you take your sofa and do you can sit there and do you feel more comfortable and confident because it's your house. You can do it whatever do you want.
Okay. How do you think of the relationships in big cities, for example, like Bogota?
Can you repeat me the question, please?
How do you think of relationships in cities?
Okay, I don't listen in well, but I think is the three question. How do you think of the relationship in the city?
Yes.
Okay, I think the relationship in a city is more distance because every people live in a city. Every time is busy and every time is wrong for work for meetings, for classes. So it's a more distance because everyone is taking accounts your own life and it's not easy to take relationships.
All right. And how do you think we can improve relationships with our neighbors, especially in big cities? How can we improve uh, relationships with our
Okay,
neighbors?
in my opinion, is improve the neighborhood is in what do you
No,
say?
I know I changed the question a little bit because the
Okay,
question as it is here, it says how to improve the neighborhood. My question is how to improve our relationships with our neighbors. Okay?
okay. I think, do you improve your relationship with your neighborhood? Taking in account that interest and respectful the space of them. For example, if do you respect the spaces in your door or the end, do you can take in account that everything is clear and
Yeah.
establish some rules with them.
Establish.
Establish some rules with them.
Yes, I think that establishing rules is key to everything. Whether you are
Yes.
I mean, if we should start having rules from home, right? So there's got to be rules at home, at school, at work, wherever we go. If there are no rules, it's like a whole anarchy, like everybody's doing whatever they want. So yes, like even with your own neighbors, you have to establish kind of rules. Like when you live in the same building, like you have to keep the stairway clean. Like there is a time for you guys to take out the garbage and things like that. Yes, I think that you're right. Mm, Now, let's move on
It's
to
a
another.
way to establish rules of
Establish.
behaviors.
Establish.
Establish rules for behaviors.
Yes. Or we can say establish or set. You've got to set rules. Set.
Okay.
S-E-T.
Set rules.
Set
Okay.
rules. Yes, it's very important. Now, Brian. Brian, sir, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Uh, my goodness. I want to try this question here about describing an object. This one. Describe something you own, Brian, which is very important to you. Who gave it to you? What is it? What does it mean to you? I remember the other day you talking about a computer or a laptop that you got from your father, but let's try to talk about something else, okay?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Mm, one one thing that is important to me is well, I don't have many things that are important, but I think that my basketball, my basketball,
Yes.
basketball balloon.
No,
I
my
play.
basketball, your basketball.
Okay, okay, my basketball, and with it I make exercise. Last weeks I made some sport, some activities with this balloon, and I remarked that I don't have anything else that is most important, you know.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Good. No problem.
And
Yes.
uh, my mother gave it to me,
Mm-hmm. And what does it
and
mean to you?
that was a very important object because I can do exercise with it.
Okay, thank you. Now, the follow-up questions. What are the changes between your city now and in the past?
Mm. I lived in Bogota about 15 years ago, and it hasn't much changed, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That is today the city is more organized in their traffic, the social features, but I think it is most the same
Oh,
than 15 years ago or something.
okay. Does money represent happiness to you? And why?
Not really happiness, but it represents quietly, tranquility, quietly.
It represents
Yes,
tranquility. It
money
represents,
by.
no, it doesn't represent tranquility as it is. It represents financial security, right?
Okay, so
Okay.
but money by itself is not a guarantee of happiness, but
Yes,
it is a
it is.
guarantee of security.
Yes, sir. All right. Very, very good answer. Uh, Now, the other follow-up question. How do you, uh, excuse me, let me see this question. How do you regard it? That's the things. What do you consider are the things that people long for the most? Like, what do people more aspire to have? What kind of things do people want to have these
Want to
days?
have by myself, I think that the people that get erroneous and the erroneous that idea that is to have mansions and luxury cars or something. That the people tend to want tend to wish that this kind of objects, you know.
Mhm.
But for me, that is just unnecessary.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Now, Lady Patricia, the same thing. Describe something you own which is very important to you.
Okay, something is very important to me is a book, but in the last class I talked about them. So I choose the anime. I don't know in English say this.
It's the same, anime.
Anime because it's a way to share with my little brother
But you
because
have
I
like,
am
excuse me, but anime is like something you own as it is. Do you have anime books? Are you talking about anime
no
comics?
in TV in internet
No,
only.
no, because this is something you own. It's like an object, please. A physical object.
Okay, a physical object. So
Yes,
in this case is
look, yes, because you have to answer questions. You have to answer questions such as who gave it to you, and if it's a show on TV, no one gave it to you. You know, so it's
okay.
a physical
So
object.
pues so in this case is the books is the most important thing for me.
Okay, but now we're gonna change books because you have answered that to me many times. Think of something else quickly.
Okay, another was my phone.
Okay, why?
My
Go ahead.
phone is important to me because it's a way to stay in communication with my friends of the college.
Of the collage, what do you mean?
Sorry, with my friend at the school.
With
When
your school friends?
yes, my old friends of the school
No,
is the only
okay, whatever. My school friends. Okay.
my school friends is the only way I have to communicate with them because I live in a long distance and it's
Mm-hmm.
not frequently seen.
Okay, who gave it to you?
Can you repeat my question, please?
It's on the screen. Can you see my screen or no?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
it says who gave it to you?
Okay. I this phone I buy myself, so it's another reason it's important to me because I bought with my own money.
Uh-huh, you bought it with your own money. So
Yes.
it was a gift from you to you.
Yes. It's a
Okay.
gift to myself. Yes.
Yes, you gave it to yourself. I mean, you gave yourself this present. And what does it mean to you?
Okay, this is mean for me that a way for communication and afford to improve and stay informed about my news or the
No,
actuality.
no. Actually, no, it doesn't exist. It's a way for me to keep in touch.
Okay, it's a way
Or
for me to keep in touch.
to keep in touch, or it's a way for me to stay in touch with my friends, or to keep posted about about what's going on nowadays.
Okay,
Nowadays is the actuality, okay? Nowadays.
okay, teacher.
All right, done. Now, what are the changes between your city now and in the past?
Okay, I live in Suacha. Is 15 years ago was more rural, and
Uh-huh.
there were a green areas or
Mm-hmm.
zones green. Now there are more construction. Hay a lot of uh, conjuntos residenciales. What do you say in English?
That are gated communities. Gated
Okay.
communities.
Hay a lot gated community apartment
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of shopping centers. So
And
now it's more a city.
it's more like a city. You can find shopping centers, apartment buildings, and lots of gated communities. Okay, good. And now the
Gated
next question. Where was it? Oh my gosh. It's because this thing is, you have to enlarge the picture and then I get lost. Where was it? Here. Does money represent happiness to you?
No, in my opinion, the money is only a aspect necessary in the life, but it's not represent the happiness. It's only a way to develop or with another things.
Okay, well, so what represents happiness to you?
Okay, the happiness for me is my family is everything important for me, my family, and take a healthy relationship with other persons
Oh,
and knowing and myself and conocerme a mí misma. What do you say in English?
getting to know myself. Getting to
Getting to
know
know myself.
getting to
Yes.
know myself is also a source of happiness for me. Okay?
Okay. Getting to know myself resort to happiness to me.
Yes. Uh-huh. Yes. Getting to know myself is also a source of happiness for
Resource.
me. No, resource, no, source.
Source. Ah, okay.
Only source. Yes. So getting to know myself is a good source of happiness for me.
Ah, okay.
All right. Okay. Then,
Thank you.
and what do people want to earn to have most frequently? The people among the people you know, what are the kinds of things that they aspire to get? What do they work so hard for?
Okay. In my opinion, the people now hard work to
Want to
material
have
things.
They want to have material things such as
Yes, it's more usually the people work to material things that cars new or a houses more bigger. Is everything more and more. Everything people can have more recently, more actually. Everything is now satisfied with them take.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, Brian, one more time for you. This is, let me think. Oh my gosh. It's driving me nuts. Have we ever talked about this question or not? It says, what is,
Not.
no? Okay. So what is an important invention? What is this important invention before the age of the computer? So what invention is it? What do you think it is or was very important at its time? And what are the advantages and disadvantages of this invention? So
Okay.
imagine, so try to go back in time when there were no computers, no computers.
Okay. I think that is the telephone.
Why?
Because the telephone enabled people to communicate for long distances and very rapid, very fast communication. The advantages is that the telephone could the people could buy a telephone quickly and and spare a lot of money. Uh, people use the telephone only in the houses. That is one disadvantage, and the other disadvantage is that it was a fixed telephone. That means that it's not mobile like now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good answer. Let me stop this so that I can look for this link. Maybe we can get Maria to connect once more. What else? So yes, very well, Brian. Now, what is the significant impact of modern inventions in your life nowadays?
Of modern inventions,
Yes.
like the internet. Internet is aside the computer. It's a different thing. Internet allow very much information to be shared among people from long distances, and I even get the joys of this invention because I read a lot of books and hear songs, learn about music and something else
Okay, sir. What kind of books do you usually read?
about military strategy.
Why that? Why that topic?
Because it is interesting, and I think strategy can be used in most of life aspects.
Okay, thank you. Now let's give Maria her chance because she's making her best to connect. Thank you so much, Brian. Uh, I don't know. I think I was asking Maria the question of the neighbors previously before we had that huge interruption. Yes, Maria was trying. Maria, did you already answer this question? The question of the neighbors. What was the question you were working on before the interruption? Can you help me with that? Maria, answer this question, the one of the neighbors. Go ahead. Maria. Maria, can you listen to me? Okay, I'm sorry, Maria. Um, then, lady, just to finish then. Lady, describe a special occasion in your life. Okay?
Okay.
Describe a special occasion in your life. Let's focus. Let's try to come up with solid answer that encompasses the answer to these single questions here before we move on to the follow-up question. So what is this? What is this a special occasion? Where did it take place? When did it take place? So
Okay.
where and when did it take place?
I
And who
was
was there?
Okay. On a special occasion in my life, I graduate of my school because it's a great step for in my life. This where is here this occasion is in I 5 years ago, and this celebrate in my house with my close family with a party.
With a party. Okay.
Yes.
And what feelings did you have? Did you experience on this occasion?
Okay, I feeling that happy because it's a finally of a step in my life, and I feel a little fear because now is a adult life for to the say is now can choose a work and a university, and for me it's a little stressful.
Okay. Now let's move on to the follow-up questions. Tell me how you organize your study time.
Okay, I organize my time when before that I can study in the morning because
Excuse me, lady. When you want to explain in English how you do something, you use the preposition by. So you say, I organize my time by, and then you explain by doing what. So by doing this or by doing that. So try to say it again using by and then ing. Okay. So how do you organize your time, your study time?
I organize my time by study in the morning because in the part of the day I feel more awake, and is the time I can work more hard in the day because I have more energy.
Okay, this is the time of the day when I can work harder.
Harder, okay. Harder because I have more energy.
I'm kind of the opposite. I usually study by night. I mean, at night. Like, I study the hardest.
Yes, no, I know. I can sleep in the night. I know. I don't know. Me siento más somnolienta in the night.
Yes, but yes, it depends on who you are. But in my case, I usually, well, it's also because I have to work in the mornings, in the afternoons, sometimes late in the evening. So I have to study at night. So it's like 2, 3, 4 a.m. and I'm still studying. Okay, good. Now, what do you think is important? What do you think is important in achieving happiness?
Can you say me another word is similar that achieving?
Yes. So, what do you think? Is a good way to be happy? To get.
Okay. Well, in my opinion, a good way to be happy is stay in peace with you and the other person in around. Because if do you have peace, do you create conflict with others?
Okay, so once again, we can use the preposition by. So I think that one way to be happy is by keeping peace of mind. Is by keeping your peace of mind. Okay, by. When you talk about the way you do something, it's always by.
By.
Right? Okay, that's it.
I think I think a way to have a good happiness or achieve happiness
is by
stay in peace with yourself and the other person, because do you don't need create conflict with them for their religion or politics or another topics have create conflict with the society.
Okay, so you can also say, I think that one way to achieve happiness is by avoiding conflict with others, is by avoiding conflict with others.
Avoiding conflict.
Avoid is evitar,
Avoid.
right? Yes. It's by when you keep away from something, you avoid it. So I think that one way for you to achieve happiness is I think that one way for you to avoid happiness, or you can achieve happiness by avoiding conflicts. Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, you can also do with ways. So one way for you to be happy is to avoid happiness. But the way to achieve happiness is by avoiding
Bye.
conflict.
Okay.
By avoiding conflict. Okay, well, guys, that's it. I think we have already finished. Maria, what's up? Can you listen to me?
Yes, tutor.
So please, I'm going to ask you a question. So right here, the one of the neighbors.
Okay.
What is the question about the neighbors? Here, go ahead. Describe one of your neighbors, Maria.
Okay, teacher. Well, my neighbor is, her name is, his name is Jorge Luis. He is a nosy neighbor because he listens to music in high volume in the night, and he don't.
He doesn't.
He doesn't sleep.
He doesn't what?
He doesn't live sleeps. No
No,
deja.
he doesn't allow us to sleep.
He doesn't
Yes,
allow
allow
sleep.
us. Or he wouldn't
I don't.
he wouldn't let us sleep. He wouldn't let us sleep. Yes, and I mean Maria. Maria. Brian, are you there?
Yes.
Lady.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, for example, like when Maria was saying that this neighbor wouldn't leave us asleep. So that's a very literal translation, you know, because leave is dejar. So she meant to say, el vecino no nos deja dormir. It's like if you say, for example, what? He doesn't leave us sleep. No, that's not what you should say. I mean, when you leave something, you leave it behind. So that's not it. So this neighbor wouldn't let us sleep. Okay?
Let us sleep. Okay.
Yes. Or for example, the door. You leave it open or you let it open? Ryan, what can you say? To leave the door open or to let the door open?
I left the door open.
Repeat, please.
I left the door open.
So the verb is leave in that case, right? In that case, yes, you leave the door open. But you might say, no, let the door open, because let is also a dejar. But let is you let someone do something. So you say, let me go, or let me do this or that. Okay. Well, guys, this is the end of everything. Thank you very much for your patience, for being here until the very end. So I will proceed to register your grades and to make some comments about this class, and that was it. Thank you very much. Keep
Thank you,
working
teacher.
hard.
Bye.
Thank you for
Bye-bye.
your
We
patience.
see you in the next
Yes.
video.
Thank you for your patience as well. You've been doing pretty well, and I know you will improve your English by leaps and bounds if you keep working as hard as you've done so far. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Bye bye. God bless
Thank
you.
you, teacher. Bye.
Bye bye.